Delmont. Are you hot over there, Tracy? You try to stay away from that thing anyway, don't you?
Yeah, I don't like it.
All right. We're going to start with roll call. Commissioner Yower.
Here.
Commissioner Rosales.
Here.
Judge Shaw here. Commissioner Schindel.
Here.
Commissioner Hamel. Carol Sweezy with the County Clerk's Office. Here. Please stand and join us in opening prayer and stay standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Dear Lord, thank you for all the good you bless us with. Please take care of our military wherever they serve. Please bring them back to their families safe. Help us make the best decisions for the county. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Y'all see a car out there?
Yeah, he walked over there.
Okay. Okay, we're going to skip around a little bit because I've got to get some of the commissioners moving this morning. So the first item we're going to go to is going to be number 13, is to open, review, discuss proposals for the construction liaison for the county courthouse restoration phase 1. And that's myself. Luana, do we have those?
Sylvia yesterday.
Does Sylvia have them? I wasn't here last
in
year.
Sylvia's chair. She wasn't here.
Morning.
Car out there going, man.
Carl's going to pay a late fee for being in late.
Oh, no, sorry.
Sorry about that.
Are they gonna have it where you can say something?
Yeah, we need to fill this out.
I just signed it earlier.
Okay, that's just to sign in that you were here. This isn't you want to speak. So
can I
fill
still
this
do
out.
Let me see if you guys are here first, because I know that Sylvia had set these up later, but we weren't aware that some of the commissioners are going to have to leave. So I would like for them to be able to hear these presentations. Is that okay, you guys, if we do this like this? Ralph, Senich, are you here? What about D. Wilson Construction?
Here.
Is that you guys? Come on up and we'll start with these presentations. You have 5 minutes if you'd like to say anything to the court before we review these minutes.
Well, thanks for having us today. My name is Tim Bentley. I'm the area manager for D. Wilson Construction Company out of San Antonio, Texas. We have 2 offices in McAllen and San Antonio. We're a 55-year-old company. We specialize in construction management, general contracting, and design build work. Like I say, we've been in business 55 years. We're employee-owned. My background is I've been doing this for 22 years. About half of that is restoration and renovation projects. I've been involved with the Atascosa County Courthouse, the Starr County Courthouse, the Williamson County Courthouse. And I'm currently doing the Fannin Battleground down in Goliad with the State Historic Commission and the exact same architect we're using right here on this courthouse, Fisher Hack. So I have experience in this type of work, have experience with this team. My background is I grew up outside of Houston, Texas. I went to the Air Force Academy. I got a degree in civil engineering. Went to the University of Texas and got my master's in construction management in 1993. I've been doing this for 22 years. It's basically all I've ever done is construction and renovation and restoration. So that's kind of our background. Like I say, we're an employee-owned company, wholly owned by our employees. So we have a vested interest to make sure that our customers are happy. And I think if you checked any of our references, you'd find that we have no dissatisfied customers. We make sure of that. So that's basically my 5-minute spiel. You guys have any questions for me?
How deep was your, into your rep? How deep were you with the other courthouses?
Very, very deep. Very, very, very intimately involved, correct.
What was your position over there?
With the Williamson County Courthouse, we were the construction manager.
The Star?
In Starr County Courthouse, we were the general contractor. In Atascosa County Courthouse, we were the general contractor. So I've done it from all different angles. In my first 7 years in the construction business, I was the owner's representative for the U.S. Air Force, building large projects all over the world for the Air Force. So I've been on every side of it personally. I'm already down here every week building the addition on the gymnasium onto the elementary school right now. So I'm down here every week as it is. Have a lot of work down in this part of the country and really enjoy working really out in these small towns. It's just kind of what I enjoy doing. really more than working in the big city. I've done both, but kind of like working out in the country a little bit better myself personally.
Yeah, it is nice.
It is a lot nicer. That's kind of it. Any questions for me?
Was.
You have any questions, Tracy? Keith?
Thank you for having us today. Appreciate it.
Don't leave us. I think the next one we have is Lorraine Daly.
Good morning. I'm Lorraine Daly with Daly and Spear Architects, and I would like to act as your owner's representative for your courthouse restoration project, Phase 1. As your owner's representative, I will act as your eyes and ears to ensure the project is completed with the highest quality and help keep the project on schedule and in budget. In this capacity, my role will be to act as an extension of you and solely represent your interests, independent of the design professionals and the general contractor. Some of the services that I will be providing for you is to act as a coordinator between your architect and your contractor that you already have in place, representing your interests at the weekly project meetings, looking ahead and advising on any project pitfalls and potential problems to resolve those before they arise, provide project updates to you on a weekly basis, and oversee and monitor construction progress to maintain project quality and the schedule. I will do a thorough review of the existing documents, drawings and specifications, and look at the schedule and pay applications on a weekly basis. I will document all project activities both in a written and photographic format, and I will help monitor shop drawings to facilitate timely turnaround of your shop drawings and your submittals. I will act as your quality assurance agent, monitoring all aspects of your project quality, and have an unwavering independent perspective whose primary responsibility is to make sure that you have the highest quality project on schedule and within budget. My interest will be to totally be dedicated to the success of your project and protecting your taxpayer dollars. And how will I accomplish this? First of all, I will gather historical project data, look at all of the contracts, the documents to date, correspondence to date, plans and specifications, do a thorough review, and discuss my findings with Karnes County. I will then schedule an initial meeting with the project architect and general contractor to review those findings and to discuss the project to date and resolve any outstanding issues to date. I will then have scheduled weekly site visits. At such time, I will look at the work in place, review the quantity and the quality of the work in place, discuss and analyze the project schedule and the pay applications. We will review at those weekly meetings. Additionally, we will do a submittal schedule review. We will look at any outstanding requests for information so that we can resolve any issues on a weekly basis. We will handle, and what's very, very important, is pre-construction conferences where the subcontractors, the general contractor, and I review the scope of work on the work that's to be done before they start the work. We'll look at the plans, the specifications, make sure that the subcontractor has all of his submittals approved and in place, and he understands what's expected of him prior to going on the job and starting his work, which will help catch and alleviate any potential conflicts and problems that could arise. I'll collect this data on a weekly basis and issue weekly reports to you.
Anybody got any questions for Lorraine? Anything you do, Sheriff?
I don't have no question.
You just want to wave?
I just said Mr. Sanders.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Okay.
You covered it all.
Good description of what you'll do.
And I've already scheduled, I was up here last week and I did review the plans and the specifications and the contracts in place, so I do have a good, thorough understanding of where the project is right now, and I'm ready to move forward immediately.
And you'll be the one that's already.
Yes, sir, I will be the one that makes the weekly site visits.
And you live in San Antonio?
San Antonio. I'm out of San Antonio.
And you're gonna be here once a week?
Yes, once a week. I'll be available at any time, but one day a week should cover everything that needs to be done. If something comes up, I'm, an hour to an hour and a half away, and I will be down here.
Is that
Nice.
8-hour day, 10-hour day, I don't know what they're working at right now, is it 8 hours?
Yeah, it depends how long it takes. Every phase, depending on what's happening in the construction, I'll do a thorough walkthrough of the construction, make sure, look at everything, plans and specifications. We'll schedule our meetings. I would expect that I'll be down here, a full 8-hour day with, getting down here around 8 o'clock and leaving around 4 is what I would expect. Anybody else? Okay, thank you.
The next one on the list, AGCM Incorporated. You here yet?
Yeah.
There you are.
Glad I just walked in.
That's all right, we came back to you.
Okay.
I'm ahead of schedule.
Perfect. I didn't know, are we presenting? There was no scope of work, so I didn't know. I
You
just got
can
a
tell
call
us whatever
yesterday.
you want to tell us, and then we can look at whatever you have to.
Okay. I think I just put in there some general information, who we are. We're based out of Corpus Christi, Texas. We have an office in San Antonio and an office in Austin. I oversee Central Texas. So like I said, depending on the scope of work and what you're looking to do, I don't know if it would be somebody out of our San Antonio office or somebody out of our Corpus office. We're currently doing some municipal work right now for Beeville. We're doing some hub inspection work in Victoria right now. We just finished up a 26,000 square foot building. Or not finished up, we did the construction management as the owner's rep for the city of Kyle for their new public library. That was just completed in January of this year, of 2012. And like I said, without scope and kind of what your fees were, what the budget is, we've been very successful in smaller communities in working with the community and the county budget-wise. For the city of Kyle, they had a budget they didn't want to exceed, so we worked with them on an hourly fee schedule to where we basically said, well, we can do this in 2 to 3 days a week, and we just charged them per hour for every man hour we were on the site. We didn't charge a percentage of total construction cost, and we have done that with several other smaller communities here in South Texas. And we are a full-service construction management firm. We have in-house estimators that help us with a lot of our cost control. We've been in business since as AGC, and we've been operating since 1996 out of Corpus. We've been in Central Texas, Austin, and San Antonio for the last 6 years.
So you have all three?
Yes, ma'am.
Anybody have any questions?
Do y'all know when you will put out a scope of work or a budget or what?
It's all on here today. We're
Okay.
trying to move forward, or trying to, we don't know what the budget is or how
Right.
we're gonna fund that, but that's all on the agenda today. I've got a ton of information that we're coming forth because it's kind of fell upon us rapidly.
Okay. And we also have done a lot of pre-construction services as well, where we've helped. We did it with Beeville, we did it with Kyle, and helped them, put together their budget, put together their scope of work. And we've done a lot of that in the past as well. So I guess will y'all post something, or do we need to be back in contact with y'all, or how does?
We're gonna look at it today. We're gonna, well, I said 13, we're actually on 14. We're doing 14 first. Well, we're opening and discussing, and then allowing you guys the 5 minutes, and I guess I kind of got ahead of myself here. And we're gonna allow questioning to see if anybody has any more questions to ask you. And then we're gonna discuss them amongst ourselves. So we're opening them and going and doing this all at once.
Okay. Would you like to? I'm happy to stick around for a while, or?
That would be nice if we have more questions for you as we go on, once we start the discussion. Like I said, this goes on rapidly, and it's something we need to move with, so.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you. The next one is Robin Donaldson. I can't say that next name. Brodus? Is that you?
That's me, it's Broadus, it's the firm name, and Robin Donaldson is my gal that kind of sends you guys all the information. I brought some additional stuff for y'all. Broadus & Associates is a firm that went into business basically in 2001, specifically as an owner's rep and specifically for municipal type clients such as yourself. We are a full service project management, construction management, as well as a planning operation through the broadest family of companies, we also own a construction company. It is that association of families that brings basically all the parts and pieces of the folks who understand kind of the needs that exist in these types of capital projects for municipalities. So we have the in-house construction, in-house estimating, in-house scheduling, those types of services available. In the packages that I think have just been handed you guys, kind of the resume on Broadus and Associates, you're going to see lots and lots of courthouses, public type facilities. It is the core business for us. Our core business is owner's representation. So our job is to represent your interests in the contractual agreements you have, whether it's with architects, engineers, contractors, or anybody else to bring a project to fruition. So we have offices all over the state of Texas as well as Mississippi and on the East Coast. We're very interested in doing work for you. The packages that I brought you, I brought kind of an outline scope of our services because there's not a real formal RFP or RFQ that you guys have issued. Basically in these packages that are on the desk over here is a complete list of all the services from pre-construction all the way through warranty. That may give you a chance to kind of look and go, what is it we're looking for here, since you're into some projects and perhaps considering some others as you move forward. So basically what we would do is say, okay, let's take a look at the scope of services, kind of go through what is it you're looking for specifically with regards to this, the projects that you have in place right now, and what things would fit you. So in the cover letter, I kind of said we need to right size our services to what it is you're looking for. You know, it's cradle to the grave on this kind of stuff, and generally you want to be somewhere in between in order to control not only the budget of your construction and your design entities, but also your total project budget. And that's what our interest is. So really I'd like to open it up to questions, whatever you got.
My part, you covered it.
And in that black folder that you guys have got, if you look on the right hand, inside of that folder on the right hand side, there's 3 different handouts in there. One is what we call unbundled project management services. That's to give you a general feel, a guideline, not to say that it's anything specific to you guys, but that it's a general scope of kind of how services might be acquired. The handout behind that is that list, kind of a checklist of all the services based on the phase of a project from pre-construction through warranty. And that would be the one we'd sit down and go, okay, what do you guys really think you need here? And based on that, we could come to better negotiations on what the true cost might be for those types of services.
I see you work in Stark County too. You said you did the courthouse? You're doing the court, you did the court?
We work together with these guys, correct?
Okay, y'all work together?
We've worked together with these guys several times.
You're going to find we've worked also with AGM and some of these other folks.
We have as well. We've worked together with these guys and AGM.
Okay.
It's a small community.
All right. That's just what I see one here in Stark County.
Do you generally work by the hour, or do you generally give a price on
Our preference is to work on a fixed fee basis to come up with kind of an understanding of what it is you guys want, and then to put a fixed fee to it. We do work by the hour lots of times, but what we typically find is folks that have to be stewards of public money like yourselves, what you want to do is kind of, what is this going to cost me, set your upside limit. So we typically will work on a fee that goes to a guaranteed max limit or to a fixed fee that says, here's what we're going to do for you, here's where we're going, and it's tied generally to the length of the project, either the completion of the project or the 1 year after the warranty completion.
Anybody else have any questions? Carol, I know I'm getting sloppy. I'm going from 13 to 14, 13 to 14. I'm sorry. That's the only way I can make this seem logical.
It'll be fine.
The next one, does anybody else have any more questions?
No.
I know we're moving fast. I
Thanks.
apologize. We're just trying to keep them going here. Joelle Signs.
Morning, Judge Commissioners. I'm here as an independent contractor. If you see my package, you'll see that I am more than qualified to do this job. The reason I submitted my proposal was because I am able to devote my entire 100% time to this one project. I am working right now. I am a superintendent for Outdoor Building Corporation. I do nothing but superintend jobs for them, remodeling for Kingsville A&M campus, University of Pan American in Edinburgh, City of Corpus Christi. being a building official in Edinburgh for 15 years, I've acquired my electrical license, plumbing license. I'm also on the state board for code enforcement officers in Texas. And I'm here to offer my services. I don't work overtime, it's just one flat rate. And the reason I came, like I said, I can offer my services 100% of the time. I just saw the courthouse. So the scope of work's already there, because the construction's already started. At least the demolition part of it has. So, if I can help you, let me know.
And I'm sorry I missed it. Where are you from?
I'm from Kingsville, Texas.
Kingsville?
Yes. I'm originally from Edinburgh, Texas. And I've been in the business of building construction since 1983. I got trained by a structural engineer, architect. I got trained in the electrical field by electrical engineer. I built hotels, schools. I oversaw projects of hospitals, multi-million-dollar jobs, university campuses. That's what I applied. Right now I am working, like I said, but I go from project to project to project. And yesterday I was in Arlington. And as soon as I leave here and answer any of your questions that you all might have, I gotta go back to Kingsville. I got 2 projects going on. But like I said, I'm offering my services. I can be here 100% of the time. You get your weekly reports, bi-weekly reports, monthly reports, and really address any issue that you might have out there, whether it be electrical, plumbing, air conditioning.
You know it all.
Well, basically, yes, and I'm still learning, but yeah, I know.
Well, yeah, we all do learn every day.
Yes.
I understand that. But your time will be 100% on site?
That is correct. As a matter of fact, if I do get this position, I will probably relocate over here, so that I can be here all the time.
But if they're gonna work on a Saturday or something, you come down too, or
I will be here, yes, sir. Whenever they work, I work.
where they work?
Yes, sir. 6 o'clock in the morning, I worked up to 10 o'clock at night finishing up one project.
Any additional time is no extra charge to the county?
That is correct. That's one flat rate. You don't worry about anything else other than that fee that I broke down.
How long have you been doing this?
Since 1983. Yes.
Have you done any courthouse projects?
There's been some remodeling in Hidalgo County Courthouse. As I say, when I was a building official in Edinburgh, I had to oversee the entire process of a city growth from 12,500 to almost 60. And the valley just boomed. And at that particular time, I was overseeing a lot of projects. Back in the 80s, the Maquina Ahora program in Mexico started to expand, and they actually contracted me to do inspections for Zenith and Sony in Mexico because of the experience that I had. I've done FHA inspections, HUD inspections, CBG programs, windstorm modifications. A lot of certifications that I've acquired over the years, a lot of.
That's all the questions I have.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
And then the last one, Ralph Senich.
Who?
Senich, the one that walked in? Did he walk in? No, that wasn't him? You're not, Ralph not here?
Are you supposed to? Different deal. I don't have nobody else out here, Judge.
I know Luana wasn't able to find a number, I don't know if Cindy was or not. Did you? I'll have to ask her. We had a couple of proposals, received, one was received emailed and not sealed, and then it was received late. And then I had one brought in by Stoddard Engineering Company that was not sealed, it was just in a plastic bag. It's in there, I can bring it in, I bring those up, I don't think they're acceptable, I don't think they meet criteria, but I'll let you guys, jump in with your opinion on that before I say anything. But what we sent out asked for sealed proposals to go to Luana's office, not to bring them in a bag in my office or email Luana after hours. That wasn't the criteria.
We can go with either one.
And so,
What was the first one? The second one on this, I got dated, and I got, the first one was
Steve Wilson?
Excuse me, Judge, but can I ask Luana, I mean, if they're late, they're just not acceptable, is that correct?
That's how it's always been in the past because they specify it in the bids.
And I do have the one in there, Commissioner, Hummel, the other one, it's open, I mean, it's just in there, it's in a bag,
Well, I know, but if it's
Yeah.
late,
so.
Well, that one wasn't late. They
There's
just
two
didn't
different ones
bring
that
it
we're
in
talking
sealed.
about. Okay, one went to Luana late, and then one came to me
gotta meet
open.
the criteria.
It wasn't, so, you guys have anything you wanna add on that? So we're staying on
This is, if it was time, then we need to put the name down, whoever it came from. We'll need to discuss it, if it was timely.
But it wasn't, it didn't follow, it didn't meet criteria, it was not sealed, it's just in open bags.
So basically, the only ones that really qualify are the ones we heard from today. Is that
Right,
correct?
and,
Is that correct,
What's
Luana?
the one that we didn't have a contact number on?
That's correct, just ask her if Senich ever called her back or whatever.
If who?
Ralph Senich. I mean, we still have to look at it, I have it here. I mean, just because he's not here doesn't disqualify him.
We're gonna move to 15.
Well, we're kind of like it, I guess we went 13, 14, 15.
No, ma'am, he did not.
He did not? Do you want me to look at what he?
They'll still think you have to review it just because you
Yes, he
didn't make
did
a
submit it in time.
presentation.
and,
You said it was open, what do you mean? What
No,
is
it wasn't open, sir, I opened it. There was one that Stoddard Engineering left in my office that's open.
Open meaning it was all loose?
It was never
It's
in a
not
sealed
sealed.
envelope as required.
And it didn't go to the auditor's office.
Bob, are we gonna go to an executive session on this?
Okay.
I will, that's good.
It was delivered like this in an open bag. And it was delivered here versus where it should have been delivered.
Is that Jerry Stoddard?
I don't know. It's like this. But it's not sealed. And it's open.
Not filled,
Sealed, sir.
oh, sealed. That makes more sense. Filled just makes more sense.
And the criteria that Luana posted or advertised specifically said sealed and in her office by a specific time. Did you guys, I mean, Bob, is this something that we could, if it's gonna be a personnel, could we go into executive session? Could we not? Is there a,
Well, not necessarily, this is a.
I know somebody asked, so I'm just asking. I didn't
It's a
hear you.
public, it's a
Okay.
public bid, and so I don't know how you need to go into executive session.
Does anybody have any more questions that they wanna ask anybody? or-
Yeah, I wanted to ask all the people here today that just gave us a presentation. Have y'all ever worked with MJ Boyle? You worked with MJ Boyle before?
Yes, we're from the past. In fact, we're currently representing a not-for-profit client, and we're in contract with them right now. We expect to complete a contract with them for a small, semi-historic renovation of about a 90-year-old facility near downtown San Antonio.
Okay, so you worked alongside him?
Yeah,
before?
we've known them for quite some time.
Tim, right?
Yes.
Have you worked with him
I
before?
know Mike Wool personally. I've served on the board of directors of AGC with him, but I've not done a contract with him, no.
But you do know him?
I know him personally, yes. Because I've known him for 12, 14 years.
Giving some open. I mean, you can list them as we like them.
We have to make a decision today, right?
We can go into executive session.
Mr. Buzzard said we can.
Open ready, so there's no reason
It
to.
should be an open meeting. This is letting things.
Barbara, did any of the proposals list their themes?
One did, I saw a couple.
Okay, but that
no.
was that's the open proposal, or is that what was also in the sealed?
Ruatus has theirs. Mr. Sines, I believe, had his. It's floating around here somewhere.
You said sign has to be.
Sines had a fee, Ruatus had a fee. Is there anybody else in here that had a fee that I looked through these? Yeah, but look, there's something else on there too. Read to the side. It looks like it's 35, but it's not. It says 91,000 total. So, I saw a sample in dailies.
It's at the bottom of the, it's at the bottom of the list of services, section 2.1, bottom right-hand corner.
Section 2.1.
Fee proposals on the bottom of that page.
Okay.
Should all those be revealed for record?
Hold on, we'll go back through them as we're doing the discussion part, and we will. Did anybody else put a fee proposal in there?
D. Wilson did, it's on the first page.
Who has D. Wilson's? I passed that around, unless they get it wrong. You have it? You have it? He said it's on the first page. We'll go back in order. Let's see. And we'll. D. Wilson's is 2.5% of construction costs plus reimbursable expenses. That would be the 2.5% of construction costs.
Who's that?
D. Wilson.
How much of that need on
I don't know, because I don't have off the top of my head the construction costs.
Plus reimbursable expenses. Carol, you want me to let you look at how they have this worded, so you can still just listen to me mumble? Will that help you?
No, he'll just tell me the bottom, you know,
It was just 2.5% of construction costs plus reimbursable expenses. Perfect. Reimbursable expenses meaning, I guess, Mr. Wilson, where you're at, or
Primarily travel expenses and recreation costs.
travel reimbursement. Let me see, now we're at the AGCN one. Who has that one?
We didn't supply a fee schedule in there, but like I said, we do hourly, we do flat fee. Like I said, without a scope or a budget, we just, we'd rather try to work with y'all.
Ted, I'm sorry, Ted, on traveling, what you said, on the 2.5, the traveling is coming over here back and forth all the time. What do you expect extra on traveling? Is that if you have to make a special trip to Austin, Dallas, Houston, somewhere, or what is that? What are you talking about?
Right, if we all have to go look at something in Austin or something.
Okay, that's just something out of the ordinary, not just traveling over here back and forth, right?
It absolutely happens on it. Williamson County Courthouse, we'll have to go to New York City and look at some masonry. That wouldn't be covered.
Okay.
Okay, and the next one is gonna be Joel Signs. Who has the Joel Signs?
Which one are we on next?
Ms. Dana, where did you say your fee is in here?
She said it's at 2.1, but I'm not seeing 2.1.
On the bottom, if you go past the cover letter, and then past the three recommendation letters, at the bottom of that next page, it says fee proposal.
$10,000 base fee plus reimbursements, travel billed at the previous IRS travel rate.
They're at 2.1.
What do you mean? No. It's, yeah. Did you see it right here?
Yeah, I'm reading it.
Okay, yes, sir. that's it.
10,000 base fee
Uh-huh.
plus reimbursement.
And travel bill,
Related IRS travel rate.
So as James asked before, Lorraine, is that travel including your daily trips down here or weekly trips down here, or is that over and above?
Right.
It would include the weekly trip. So we would invoice for the travel coming down here and going back to San Francisco.
One time per week.
Yes.
Unless otherwise needed, and if we
Unless otherwise
need you some other time, that's also, you're gonna charge for that traveling too, right?
Yes, sir. When we drive to the job site, we would charge for overtime.
Where's Mr. Sines' little letter floating around? It had some numbers on it. Is that it? No, signs. I know they sound a lot like S-A-N-G signs. Find it. On Doyle signs, it says a flat fee rate of $35 an hour, no overtime. Break down 8 hours on job site, with 2 hours reports daily, 50 hours a week. So it's he has $35 at 50 hours for $1,750 a week for 52 weeks, which would be $91,000 a year.
Who's that?
Mr. Sines. And then it says, if my proposal is accepted, a 15% advance fee will be charged to start the job because of the following: plan review, relocation cost, and pre-construction meetings with all subcontractors. The proposal would be, this would be $13,650 and would be deducted from the $91,000 per year. So that's plan review on there. Do you want to see that? Let you look at it. And if you look at, oh, I'm sorry. Look at the black folder, it's in the right pocket. There it is, there's your fee schedule right there.
Knowing what's in there, I'm sure that's gonna create a question. Because, well, we didn't know the exact duration. We weren't able to just state a flat fee, so we've given you some ideas on what we think it is. From a practical side, I talked to Mike Boyle last night about what I thought the remaining duration was on the restoration. Based on that, we're guessing there's maybe 17 weeks left on the restoration of the courthouse. So we would see this job probably as a 3 days a week, half day kind of on-site type of individual, and then 1 full day here with the court and at the job. And based on that, we think the fee travel included is somewhere in the neighborhood of $24,000, which is basically, if you do the math and those various numbers that are interested, what it gets into.
Okay. Well, I mean, yes, sir. And let me get to funding here in a second. I think that, is there anybody here that's here that did not tell us the fee, that we were still looking for what we have?
Mr. Sines, on that, $35 an hour or something, you said you'll relocate over here. That's, I don't know if we need someone there every day, but, I mean, I'm just asking you, this includes traveling expense, everything?
Yes.
Everything's
Everything included. It's just, I based it on that, sir, without knowing the amount of time it was gonna take. That's just my flat rate.
I understand. Thank you.
And Mr. Sines, I don't want to lead you to believe that relocating here right now would be easy. We're in the midst of Eagleford Shell, and I don't want it to cost you money to come down to be helping us, because Obviously, we have some very expensive houses for rent in Karnes County.
What was AGC? What were they? I missed it.
He did not have a fee schedule, he said.
Oh, he did.
You know, and everything else right now is pretty much guesswork. We're saying guess of 17 weeks. We're saying guess of this. I mean, we really don't know. I mean, seeing since we've been down this road,
How many weeks?
I believe the gentleman back there said, talked to Mr. Boyle and said 17 weeks.
17. No, less than 5 months.
That's a guesstimation. That's what we're guesstimating here. I mean, so nothing, I guess, set in stone. We'll have to see how much wiggle room that we have with budget, finances. And if y'all want to skip over that, and discuss that before, prior to the financing, if y'all want to skip over that.
Oh, we got a pay 'em? Right, Bob? I didn't hear what you said. Sorry. I said right, Bob. You heard that? Just go like this, Bob.
Just trying to make deals over here. So I guess Carol, in a technical manner, did I do 14, 13?
When they did 13, 14, 13, 14.
I'm so sorry.
I'll fix it.
Make it right.
Well, they got their heads together here. What do you think? Can you think aloud for us? Can we put you on the spot?
Yeah. You can put us on the spot. We're always on the spot anyway.
That's
so.
right, we were in a big ball.
Hey, is y'all's microphone working over there?
Yeah.
They don't wanna hear us.
Carl, turn it on. Let's see if it's on at the bottom. See if the
The judge
microphone.
is
Try your microphone.
This?
Yeah. Are you on?
Me and Tracy don't ring. Let me interrupt you, Joe, they gotta change dates.
Can you hear Carl? I mean, is it on? You're on. I have you on over here.
Is the microphone itself turned on, Carl?
Bob, we need.
You know what? Try the top of your microphone, Carl. There you go.
Hey, now we can.
Welcome to our world.
I can't see that button.
Wait,
I
I
can't see
can't
Put
see
it
it,
on
I can see it on that one over there though.
We're looking at Mr. Sines, all of them came.
Wait,
See,
Pete.
everyone-
Pete,
just came-
you're not on record.
Hold on, wait a minute.
Back on the record.
We're looking at here, comparing our figures, we said they're all capable of doing the job. Look at Mr. Sines, $35 an hour. That's on the low end, he probably could do the job. He's not that technical or that good, but he can't move here and he can't drive here from Kingsville. We know what the cost is, so he's gonna have to get paid a pretty good amount. All right.
And to relocate here.
To
it'd be
relocate
expensive.
here is expensive, we don't really need to do that. All right, so anyway, on the other hand, the others, we've got a general idea of what we're going per hour or whatever, and looking at Ms. Daly's, if she charged $10,000 plus 55 cents a mile for a two-way trip from San Antonio, probably 130 miles, whatever. I mean, $65. In other words, that once a week, that looks like a reasonable fee that is not very high, $10,000 plus the travel. That's what it looks like to me. She's an architect. Obviously, she can read these plans and find something a whole lot quicker than I can. She'd be able to do that. Like I said, the others are all good. We don't know exactly how much they cost. Like Mr. Broadus said, he estimated approximately $24,000. And of course, that's variable. But I think her fee would be less. I think she'd be able to do the job as well as they would. So that's our comparison that we have here. That are his numbers.
Lorraine, she's reviewed the plans. I know she was in here.
Yeah, she's reviewed the plans.
Yeah, basically that's what we were discussing here. I'm sorry we're discussing it quietly, but we'll let you know what we were discussing. We kind of went through it and everything, and I think all of them can do the job. D. Wilson, I like the experience that you had very, very much. I like that experience. Mr. Sines, I like the experience that you had too. Yeah, I like the experience everyone had and everything, but because we're voting on people's tax dollars and everything, even at Mr. Sines, we estimated 17 weeks to finish at $35 an hour would be $29,750. Every other cost would be above and beyond the $10,000, and because it's taxpayers' money, we would have to go, and everyone's equally qualified. We don't always have to go with the lowest bid, but right now we're dealing with people that are equally qualified in my book. But because they're equally qualified, the 10,000 is the lowest one with a 55 against 0.5 per mile, and it's one time a week. And if for some otherwise, if we say we don't need you that week, which I'm sure we will, we can go ahead and knock it out to 10 weeks. It'll still come under any one of the other ones. So basically, that's what I was looking at.
Can I say something just really quick? Carol, we're on number 15. We're to discuss, approve, disapprove, accepting the proposed proposal for construction of the asphalt position. And I apologize. That's okay.
So we're done with 13.
I think we're done with 13, 14. Skip a lot back and forth and make Carol's life miserable, but we're done.
I didn't want to I apologize, we're whispering, but.
Now we're at number 15 to the discussion and approving, disapproving part of the acceptance. And I apologize. I just want to get that on record.
We have said everything to it, said everything we discussed here.
Yeah.
So, I agree with you.
That's just, us two, so.
A lot of money.
Did you have a recommendation?
And they're all equally qualified. And I would, excuse me.
Every one of them very qualified.
I was impressed by all of them, but there was one, wasn't that, no, I was traveling. We're on number 15, right?
Yes, sir.
I can make the motion. I'll make the motion to approve accepting the preferred proposal for the construction liaison position with Dave.
I second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? I said aye, excuse me. Motion carries. That's going to be 5, Carl, did you vote? Did you say aye?
Yeah, he did.
5-4, none against, it goes to Spears Daily.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, we appreciate it. Number 16 here is going to be consideration and act upon a resolution expressing intent to reimburse expenditures to be incurred by Karnes County, Texas. This is myself, and what this is we're going to incur some expenses, number 1, with Spears Daily, and number 2, with upkeep of the courthouse in according with insurance. And if you'll go to your front page of your package or somewhere in there, no, look, I separated your package into 2 pieces. You see the tack part? Right there. You see the tack part? Okay, the tack part, what that is we are going to have to be able to come up with funds to be able to take care of our courthouse business, which includes monthly checks and checks after rain. And Pete has agreed to do those.
Okay, with Leon or not, we have exclusions in our insurance policy. damage from water damage, from cracked plaster or roof leaks in the courthouse. With our contract, we're gonna have to do something to take care of that so that we don't need further damage. So, we need to spend some money on that in the next 2 years, because it's gonna be 2 years before there's any grant for phase 2 restoration. Is that correct, Carl? So we're gonna have to do some repair.
So which is going to put us, number one, we're gonna need money to pay Mrs. Daly. We had discussed that that cannot come out of the phase 1 money, or Spears Daly, excuse me, and then we'll need money to upkeep this. And in question, we're trying to figure out where we could get this money to where it would be for the, how to be used. And Carl, I guess, had talked to Ross, and Ross had wrote us an opinion, and that's in y'all's package too, of how to be able to use some of this money, or we could get this money for these courthouse expenses.
I didn't talk to Ross.
It's in there that you asked him for an opinion on where we're gonna get monies are not budgeted. Can you look
Oh,
in
I
there?
think I talked to George.
One of them. Well, they sent you.
Well,
They
what's
sent,
the difference?
They sent you an email. Well, they sent me an email to give to all of y'all.
Okay.
So it's in there, and it just says that it's your request. And when I got the request and I read it, it said that we could talk to versus Texas Historical Commission says we can't use money that's already set aside. But this is still money that we have to spend. And this is still money for the courthouse. And Ross advised us to contact our bond election attorney to see if funds could be taken out of there to upkeep the courthouse and to be able to pay for this. So I did. I contacted Mr. Paulin, and that's the resolution that's in here. He's the one that actually, where it says consideration and action on a resolution expressing intent to reimburse expenditures to be incurred by Karnes County. Mr. Paulin gave me that language to be able to use this money to be able to upkeep the courthouse and be able to hire somebody. And it's going to be in email form. You're going to see it from Tom to me. And it's going to actually have a bits and pieces of that resolution on there. We have to give the resolution a number. And in my infinite wisdom, I've been numbering the resolutions by the day we have Commissioner's Court, because that way, when I call Carol, I can tell her it's the day we had court, and we're making sense with each other. So, Mr. Paulin actually sent me, from Bickerstaff, Heath, and Delgado, who did our bonds, sent me the whole package for us to be able to use these funds to be able to meet courthouse requirements. And that would be the way to be able to fund this project, which is upkeep of the courthouse and paying Spears Daily.
And what cost?
But what do you mean at what cost?
What cost will they charge us?
At what cost will they charge us?
Bonds.
We already have them. I mean, it's what we voted on.
Well, we haven't sold.
We haven't, yeah, right, we haven't, but
We haven't
that's,
sold bonds. We'd have to sell some bonds.
Yeah, and you'd have to have them created in terms of legal fees, and cost to create bonds.
and we're gonna have to do that anyway, Betty. I mean,
The whole thing?
no, but you don't have to sell them
Well, we
today.
have-
That's not the,
The voters approved $4 million for bonds, and we can sell $250,000 worth. I don't know exactly what amount, but we have to have some amount.
we have to do the inspection of the courthouse, keep the stucco up and make sure the rain's not coming in to be able to keep it insured, and we have to keep it insured. And so to be able to do all this without figuring how to get the money, but we have to keep the courthouse insured, or we're gonna lose our insurance, and we can't do that building on it.
How much money you talking about?
We're looking at probably cashing in, what do you think, Pete?
Well,
250,000,
I mean,
300,000
just
bonds?
until I get some figures from someone, I'd say $250,000 to be sure we have enough to. In other words, $250,000 you're paying 4% on it. It's not an exorbitant amount, but it would last us 2 years to do whatever repairs we had to do, to pay Ms. Daly, to pay whatever expenses come along with this. I don't know whether that's the right amount or what amount we can sell, what's the least amount of bonds that we can sell. But I would say $250,000 worth. You can sell $100,000 bond, if it comes just to that amount.
That's a very small fraction of 4 million, isn't it?
Yeah, and the legal fees usually are a percentage of the total amount, like 4 million.
But, yeah, the total amount is 4 million.
Yeah, the legal fees, the bond, the issue of the issues of the bond, the legal fees are usually a percentage of the total amount voted for. So they're gonna charge us for if we want 250,000, they're gonna charge us the same amount as they charge us for the 4 million.
So are you saying it's better just do the 4 million all at once?
That's what they're gonna do.
So you do some instead of paying lawyers' fees twice? I think, is that what your point, is that what your point, is that what your point is?
Are you saying that, we're gonna pay the full amount for the fees and then we settle the rest of the bond, we're gonna pay the full amount for selling those again?
No, but you're gonna pay the full amount of fees you for 250, you would for 4 million. They did that they hired on an underwriting fee basis, and the underwriting fee is what they charge for.
But from a dollar standpoint, why would we want to pay out all our attorney, or issue all the bonds at one time when we may not be using all that money for 2 years and being paying
That's
interest
why
on
I
it?
think that's why
We'd
they
be
would
paying
pay lawyers for
4%, correct, on 4 million or what? 4% on 4 million.
Or 4% on 250,000? Why would we want to issue the full dollar amount and be paying interest?
I agree with that, Luana.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying, their underwriting fee though is gonna have to be the same for whichever one it is. Because that's the same amount of work for the 250 or 4 million.
It's the same thing.
So in other words, as a fictitious amount, let's say their underwriting fee is 10%. We'd be paying 10% on 4 million out of that 250,000, so we wouldn't really garner $250,000 cash.
You need to take a look at
So we probably need to
And what the underwriting fee
find out
would be.
exactly what fees will be, how they will,
Yeah.
Correct.
how they will charge.
So that
us,
we
what
can
have to
net
start with, so
the
we know
dollar
how
amount
much
we
have to
need.
set.
Correct.
Right.
All right, what I would suggest that we, do you all agree this is the right way to fund this, what we have to fund? So we have the bonds.
Sounds right to me.
All
And
right, so,
it's a resolution to reimburse, and we can have that wiggle worm in there to ask how much we need.
See, what you're saying, you're gonna add the fees to the 250,000, make it a little more, so you net the whole 250,000.
If that 250,000 is the amount y'all want to net.
I can get some closer estimates and see if the 250,000 will cover the fees and enough to take care of the courthouse repairs. As soon as I get some better figures. So we'll see what that amount has to be, whether it's 250,000 or 300,000, whatever. So I think we either table this or we are in agreement that this is the right way to go.
We're in agreement. Can we approve it today and then put the language in the wiggle room later? Does it matter? Can we get it approved today or
I
no?
don't see how you can, because you don't know what you're going, you don't know what denomination you're gonna be selling. You could sell it all or just part of it. I think you need to wait.
But I guess my question is, why would we wait when we have that wiggle room to be able to take out all we can?
Right, and
Because we're gonna have to start paying.
We really don't know what we need anyway. I mean, there's no way of knowing what it's gonna cost to fix the roof
I mean,
and whatever you say.
can't we pass the resolution and determine how much we need?
I think you're pretty accurate, Pete, actually.
I mean, it's a reimbursement resolution.
Is it on the agenda that way?
Yes, sir. It says consideration and action on a resolution expressing intent to reimburse expenditures to be incurred by Karnes County, Texas. So can
But
we
you don't
pa-
know the amount, what you need.
Right.
I mean, that's pretty.
You really need to have that in there.
Once we have the amount, can't we come back and do that? So we can go ahead, we're gonna have to start paying this daily. We're
You
gonna have
have
to
to do
start
it in
keeping up
another
with
meeting
everyone else.
anyway.
Didn't you include that in your motion, to pass a resolution contingent on the amount to be determined by March 14th or March 31st or whatever?
I mean, 'cause when Miss Daly leaves, she's leaving with all this paperwork in her hand.
I'm thinking that you need to wait and do it when you got it all. If you have to call a special meeting, so be it.
Why put it on the agenda? Let's put it on the table.
Let's do it. Can we do it contingent upon?
Has the Texas Historical Commission
think so.
okayed you to repair the roof? That's before you get ahead and get the money. Have you
We
talked
have
them?
to, we don't have a choice.
I mean, but they own it, I think.
You don't get their permission.
Right.
And it doesn't meet the specifications of the Texas Historical Commission. When the courthouse goes into renovation, and you're gonna have to do that roof all over again.
Well, and we might have to do that roof all over again, but right now we have to keep insurance because we just spent $900,000
I
of money.
understand, but what I'm saying is, if you're gonna do it now, at least do it under the specifications of the Texas Historical Commission.
Exactly, I think you're right, Mr. Yarder, and they will work
But
together.
that's not what you're saying.
But right now, what we're looking at is funding. We're looking at funding, and we're gonna have to get with the historical commission, or Lorraine can get with them, or somebody can get with them. And where we always get confused is we leave these 5 people up here, and we end up out there, and we're confused by the time we go home. So let's just stay where we're at. So we either want to consider an act upon the resolution, and he, if I remember right, when we called Tom, he said that we could pass the resolution and then use what we needed. Did he not say that, or did he say that?
That's what I understood him to say.
That's what I understood him to say. So if we pass the resolution, and I wrongfully passed the resolution, then I called him, I said, Tom, I made a mistake. Can I, yes, can I redo this? And I don't think he's gonna tell me no.
We just have to rescind the previous resolution.
Yes, then we just rescind it, right? Correct? I mean, but let's move forward instead of just sitting here digging a rut.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Move on.
So, I make a motion that we act upon the resolution expressing intent to reimburse expenditures of being incurred by Karnes County, Texas.
Thanks, second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries 5-0. Was there any opposition? No. Okay. Guys, if I mess it up, I'll call Tom and I'll figure it out. We'll get that number and we'll fix it. Is that okay? Is that okay by y'all?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that okay if I made that mistake? Thank you. Number 17 is discuss, approve, disapprove hiring an engineer in accordance with Professional Services Procurement Act. That's Pete. Look, there's gonna be something in your package that's gonna look like this now. And it's gonna say ACEC Texas on top. And then I have a little deal that I wanna show y'all that we went out and we found. I guess in better language, Mr. Quintanilla found us. He roamed in here, and we were having geotechnical, geophysical issues. And we were talking about hiring a geotechnical engineer, which had not been done. Pete, go ahead. Let me let you do this.
All right, what we, y'all know the contract with MJ Law requested that we hire an engineer, named the engineer, suggested we hire a certain person. We rejected it here in court last time, the Chester Thrash or whatever it was.
Chester Drash.
Okay, so, anyway, we look, this is pulled up in your file there, and it says testing and inspections, and who's gonna hire this, and who's gonna hire that, what you're responsible for, and the county is, and you can read all through it, and it probably takes a lawyer to figure out which word overrides the other one, who's gonna pay for it. Karnes County is gonna have to hire somebody. All right, so we had Gary Quintanilla contact us, or did we?
He wandered in here.
Came in here. Anyway,
He was looking at the proposed jail site.
they are a company that tests and they have quite a range of qualifications.
I have a book for y'all.
They do environmental and soil testing and whatever. So anyway, Mr. Quintanilla came in and proposed that, said that he would be. Was there anyone else that came in?
No.
All right, so, talking to him, I felt like that he could do a job for us, and he thought that he shouldn't take the $4,500 that was requested for testing this. So, I suggest that,
But he also defined this was that there's a 2-step process, that they were supposed to provide us with their qualifications, and then we were supposed to go with the fair bid. Is that correct? With the engineer that's on the part?
yes, in other words, qualifications are set up and how you're supposed to hire them. And I haven't, but anyway, if we have no one else, I would suggest we hire Mr. Quintanilla. He told me,
Is that a motion, Pete?
I'll make a motion that we hire engineering company in Texas.
Second it.
All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 5-1, there's no opposition. Carol, that's, the name of the company is TSI Laboratories. And the gentleman's name is Mr. Quintanilla. I can't remember. Chris Quintanilla?
Gary Kinsley.
Gary Quintanilla.
How do you spell
Number 18 is discuss, approve, disapprove purchase of an in-ground scale for the weigh station from P&S Scale Company in the amount of $32,160. This money has been previously budgeted for the weigh station, and that's Pete. There's a copy of the bill for the weigh station in here for you guys. It shows us the bill. And it's already budgeted, so I don't think, is there anything else left to say except we have to get it through court?
We just gotta get it through court. Also, we all attended a pre-con meeting, Pierce, out here when they started working on 123, 181. We got with Jeffrey, Hunter Industries, everybody. We're on page. We ordered the scale as of the other day, I guess Monday, a week ago. It takes 5 weeks to get here, right on time with the construction of 123, 181 red light. And that's the reason we got Jeffrey here. They got a bunch of material out there on one road. He's gonna be hauling it in for us. Got an electrical box. And Commissioner Yar been there. He's spearheading it. Pierce is helping him to do this because he had more experience with weigh houses and stuff like this in his years with DPS, license and weight. So pretty much everything will be done between Pete, Pierce, and Jeffrey on this.
And yesterday, we did get an email from Paul. They're starting that construction. I called you. They're starting to put up the concrete poles, but we're gonna have stoplights now. That's gonna be nice. You'll actually be able to use 123. Anyway, if Pete or Pierce, did you get with him? Will you please call him and show him where we want to set everything and do everything, so we'll get our preview part of that construction.
All right.
Well, I make a motion that we,
Next week, man from the scale company, Dennis Shaw, is coming down to mark off the spot where it's going, where the scale should be. And we're gonna have to dig a hole in drain pipe.
Okay.
good.
Everybody's on page. So
Everybody's on page.
We're good.
We're good.
Thank y'all.
Thank you.
I make a motion, we approve the purchase of the in-ground scale for the weigh station from P&S Scale Company Incorporated in the amount of $32,160. This money has been previously budgeted for the weigh station.
I second it.
All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? No opposition? 5-0. Motion carries. Yes, ma'am?
Who seconded? I heard two, and I didn't know who got first.
Carl got it. Carl, man, you're a little bit quicker.
Okay, we're gonna go to number 22 real quick. Number 22 is discuss, approve, disapprove the recommendation from the jail architect as submitted by the jail review committee. And, go ahead.
We had a meeting the other day with the jail committee right here. There's me, Commissioner Yar, Judge Shaw, Beto Martinez, who's the guy with USDA, who's pretty much ramrod that's overseeing all this, and me. And we went through and discussed at length for several hours. We came up with one, and it's going to be daily spare construction. And so this is pretty much what we went through. Presentation, just like y'all did a while ago, which is unbeknownst to me. When I seen her here this morning, I thought that she was here on this thing, but I did not know she was putting her application. I think James, he seemed pretty good. He recommended her for this too. So she's very capable of what she's doing. She's very hands-on, and some of this stuff, that 3D digitals. And I'll talk to other sheriffs and jails. I'll have a real lengthy discussion with, here we go again, Randy Brown over in Hondo. He's been very satisfied with that jail for many years, and I mean, it was on the cutting edge 10 or 15 years ago. So
we're gonna be even more on the cutting edge.
That's what I keep saying, Carl, 21st century. So that's,
Just for y'all's information, the ones the group of us we discussed the other day were Gondek, and Kenny Burns, and Danny Spears.
They were the top three.
That's the three that we considered Danny Spears.
unanimous. All right?
So I make a motion, I can't approve it. I was on the committee. I can't make a motion. What do I do?
I'll make it up. You make it, I'll second it.
Okay, I'll make it. What is,
Number
okay,
22.
I'll make a motion to approve the recommendation for the jail check as submitted by the jail review committee, which is dated.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries 5-0.
Thank y'all, appreciate it.
Thank you. Okay, Pete, thank you. Today's ACOG day. Pete said it's ACOG to me. Carol and I've got trial after lunch, and I know you need to go. Is there something you need to do before you go?
Is there anything else here that?
Is there a number that you specifically want to look at before you go? Is there something I need to do before you go?
No, well, I was gonna get a call, so I'm waiting for a call here, so I got a few more minutes.
It's 10 after 10.
10 after 10? I'll stay here another 10, 15 minutes.
Hey, Jeffrey, there was something Jeffrey needed to go somewhere. Where are you, Jeff? Don't leave me, Jeff. Ask for favors and went out the door. Did you leave, Sheriff?
No.
Jeff, I know that you said you needed to go somewhere too. You have a meeting. Is there something, what specific number can you tell me to?
On the road closures on 19.
Okay, number 19. Okay, that's discuss, approve, disapprove closing of County Road 150, and that's Nancy and Betty. Betty, you want to explain that to us, or Nancy, or one of y'all?
Good morning.
Good morning, Betty.
This was done, the road was closed back in 1960. It's been closed in since then, since 1960s. And so it's been returned to its natural state. It's just a matter of formality of technically having, it was on the agenda twice back in '08. And then after Nova died, we got set aside and the survey was done. So for 150 it's been shut down for over 40 years.
And what was your question about that, Jeff?
I just wanted to know which part of the 150 they were gonna close it. But it's closed already, right?
Yeah, it's closed already.
Oh, okay, okay.
It's been closed for over 50 years.
Oh, okay.
It's just
Yeah.
returning it to the ownership.
The people, okay.
I make a motion. It was abandoned.
It was abandoned, okay, okay. That's all the question was about.
I make a motion to approve closing of County Road 150.
I second that motion. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposition? Motion carries 4-0.
Thank you.
That's right, that's right. Yes, and Jeff, are you done?
I think so.
Okay, and then I've got to move on to Bert.
Hey, Judge, that 150 is in 3 sections.
Yeah.
The abandoned part, I think you said an abandoned part of 150? Is it all abandoned?
Ms. Chester.
We do have a section 150A, 150B, and 150C that we just recently renamed last year. It was already, I mean, I don't know which section we're talking about.
We're not talking about any of those. Those are all still viable roads.
So you, do you still word it with 150?
The abandoned part of 150, not to include 150 A, B, or C?
Thank you.
Can we say the abandoned, can we amend that to
Correct.
say the abandoned part of 150 not to include A, B, or C?
Correct.
Well, you have a survey.
Ms. Yarder, this
I have a survey attached to it, where it's actually been surveyed off, so they can see that it's not any of those.
Okay.
That'll show what we're actually closing.
Yeah.
I've looked at it, forgot.
That was one of the things that held it up, was getting a survey on it.
Ms. Yarder, this is to the west of Highway 181, that 150.
Yeah, but it comes in off, what's it, county road, at 209? 2509. It's the old section that used to come in on 509.
Okay, so before we go forward, should we say to amend not to include A, B, 150 A, B, or C? Is that what your concern is,
I
Sharon?
don't think you need to, Judge.
We don't need to do
We
that.
don't need to do
They
that.
have a survey.
That's the survey.
I
You have a survey.
Question.
Okay.
According
We
to
can
that
say it's,
survey.
yeah, we
Yeah.
That you have.
in accordance with the survey.
Okay, but I don't want to confuse Carol either, because we keep jumping back and forth here. And if we're going to say according to a survey, will you give her a copy of that survey? Can we get a
I'll
copy
give
of
her a
that?
copy of the survey, I've got a copy of it with me.
Perfect.
Okay, thank you.
So do you want to
Can you
leave
say
out?
please see attached?
I can, but do you want to leave out the part about the A, B, and C and just say in accordance with the survey?
Is that what we're saying, guys, in accordance with the survey? All right. Okay.
Barbara, can we do number 10, because those documents need to go out FedEx by 11?
Okay, number 10, and then I gotta get Bert out of here. Okay, number 10 is discuss, approve, disapprove insurance renewals for auto liability, general liability, public official liability, law enforcement liability, and auto physical damage, to authorize the county judge to execute renewal application documents, and that's Luana. Is this just general, Luana?
This is just formality. We aren't
Okay.
changing any of our coverages. I just need your signature on the
I'll do it so you can get it out by 11.
applications.
I make a motion that we approve the insurance renewals for auto liability, general liability, public officials liability, law enforcement liability, and auto physical damage, and authorize the county judge to execute renewal application documents.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries 5-0. Any opposed? 4-0. Four. I lost one. Okay, we're at the one right here.
You second that right there?
It's linked here. It's your birthday, Tracy? I was gonna say you got free something somewhere, but since I'm honestly trying to, not quite telling the truth. I think John got killed on this 92. All right, the next one, let's go to number 6 on the agenda. That's Mr. Utley, presentation on behalf of the Taxpayers Association regarding Vice Commissioner presentation in Precinct 1. Go ahead, Bert, so I just gotta note this, because I know you had to leave too. I'm sorry, everybody's gonna leave.
Oh, that's okay. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank y'all for having me. I'd like to say, first of all, I'm a member of the Karnes County Association. You will hear some of us talk today, not sure all of us, but we just wanted people that had concerns in our precinct. I would ask Judge Shaw that we follow Robert's Rules of Order and not be interrupted until our entirety is finished, unless you think we're out of order, which you would surely have the right to stop us from saying anything.
The only problem we have there, Mr. Utley, is we haven't adopted Robert's Rules of Order in the courtroom, but you do have 30 minutes, and we'll give you an uninterrupted 30 minutes with your taxpayer people or whatever it is you're doing.
Right. I do have a doctor's appointment, orthopedic neurologist surgeon. I've
gotcha.
been waiting
I
for
gotcha.
2 months.
I'm sorry,
And
I
so
gotcha.
I'll try to get
You
in
go
this
as fast as
time.
you can.
Sure, I will. We remember the Karnes County Taxpayers Association. We were formed to bring 2 or 3 things. First of all, to bring responsible and open court to this community, responsible taxpayer spending, and report to citizens on public officials that we feel were inadequate. We have seen many good things out of the new court that has entered, and we're really happy with it, especially the new deputies we're going to get on board, and highly support that. We have a present court with 2 new commissioners and a judge. One thing we don't like in the community, we feel that y'all are trying to be held as a scapegoat because the courthouse did not get grants, and that's further from the truth as can be. You went by all your procedures. You had approval by the Texas Historical Commission to extend it. It was not your fault that you couldn't get out of the courthouse. You went through your process, and you felt that we should have a bond election, and voters, not like prior courts, should have the responsibility of voting. The Texas Historical Commission approved this. We were promised in this community by some here and there that we would get $5 million in grants. The grants are not there. We wish they were. And I'm not demeaning anyone in this local community. There were some that are very passionate about what they do, and I respect that. But we felt that they knew all along that you weren't going to get it. They hold their jobs by how many projects they have going. Whether we get the grants, we don't know. But a lot of people vote in this community feeling that we would get those grants. I would ask you to be very cautious about using the money until we get the grants. Forward on, I became involved in county government approximately 3.5 years ago when I found out we were going to have an annex. And there were many people in this community felt that there were many other alternatives we could do besides spending $2.8 million for that annex. That's when we formed the association. The first thing we did was go out and get 750 to 780 voters' signatures against the annex within about 8 days. We said, well, this should be enough to start. I talked to Judge Kendall, said, well, to get on the agenda, you need to talk to your commissioner. I called Mr. Hummel, and they called a couple times before. This is okay, he's a good guy. He'll get us on the agenda. He told me he would. 5 days later, I showed up to the court, and I wasn't on the agenda. Well, That was somewhat irritating. And if you want to check this out, you can go to the minutes, the time, you'll see that I did object and no one said anything about this. Judge Kendall vowed it would not go over $2.8 million. It's now over $5 million, the annex that is. Carl, you voted for every one of these. You voted for all the tax increases that's come along. We just kind of wonder if you're, what your agenda is. The annex was shoved down the taxpayer's throat without a bond election. We feel Carl is biased and not been a good representative for our precinct. I'd like to present some of the reasons we feel this is this way. First, Carl, you voted for every single taxpayer increase without question. I'm not going to go on this later, but your conduct has been bad in many cases when you and your nephew were booked on assault against your brother and a female, kind of an overmatched match, and maybe Maurice can expound on that a little bit, why it did not go forward. You voted against the bond election on the courthouse when we felt we could get a bond election, let the people decide. You felt you knew more about it than the people and you would not let your voters vote on it. The bond election did pass, but it did not pass in your precinct, and you still voted to go forward with it. Just kind of wonder who you represent, your precinct or what your particular agenda is. Philip, I know you're pressed in time, too. I'd like to bring you up just a minute and talk about the county road if you'd like to. Put your role in. Philip's one of our members.
Now, I am going to ask that y'all stay with the bias part, okay?
Okay.
That's the part on the agenda.
Okay.
Stay with anything
We will do
with
that.
bias.
We will do that.
My name's Philip Bush, and I've lived in Choke for about 30 years. And I'd like to talk to you about the County Commissioner of Precinct 1, Mr. Carl Hummel, and the conditions of our road and the lack of maintenance of them. In a past meeting, I believe it was on September the 20th, 2011, Commissioners Court meeting, we addressed the court about Road Commissioner Weatrick plowing up County Road, previously paved County Road 127, and we had no warning, or we're not asked any questions about whether how we wanted our roads taken care of. And there was phone calls to the commissioner trying to get him to stop the destruction of the road, and it fell on deaf ears. In fact, he made it very clear that he is not involved in road decisions in our precinct. And he emphasized the fact that he was not going to micromanage the road commissioner or the roads in our precinct. And he has held true to his word. In fact, he doesn't manage at all. We have not seen him or heard from him since this time. We have had, as far as I know, we have had one maintainer on our roads in the past 5 months. And I'd like to thank the countywide for keeping us abreast of what our commissioner is doing, because we don't see him or hear from him. We have roads out in our area that my neighbors can't get to their house without a four-wheel drive vehicle. That sounds, we've had no more than a ½ inch of rain at a time, and we're having to use four-wheel drive vehicles to get to and from their homes. The County Road 127 is still unpaved, and we haven't heard absolutely nothing of our complaints on the meeting of September 20, 2011. It's like out of sight, out of mind. We came and complained, and now they think we're just, they don't have to do anything about it. But we still want our road paved. We don't want that slick caliche like they've put on other roads in our area that you can't drive on when it rains. And we're still waiting for more structure on the road commissioner's duties. Since Mr. Hummel is involved in all the above, I'm looking forward to the opportunity to check out the qualifications of his opponents. And I'd like to thank the court for taking the time to listen to my complaints. Thank you.
James, be careful. Carol. James, will you get James, Carol?
I think it's like
Yes.
2:15 or something.
I can't see.
Okay, thank you, Philip. I'd like to go further, that the court, as a court, about a month or so ago, you appointed Carl as the liaison between the contractor Boyd and to report to the court, and I guess make recommendations. One of the first things Boyd did was asbestos abatement and did not seal the ducts properly. $50,000 worth of computers were destroyed. Carl said it could happen to anybody. But Boyd had a contractual obligation not to run those computers. And again, the taxpayers had about a $50,000 bill they had to foot. Kind of again, what is the bias? Are you working for Boyd or are you working for your precinct? Boyd has said, also brought about 2 different change orders. The very same contractor that sat in front of y'all and said, we're not going to have any additional cost when we tear off these wings. A change order for $26,000 and then another change order for $21,000. That the commissioners all realized the contract is a contract and voted against this, except for Mr. Hummel, who voted to give the money to the commissioner, to Mr. Boyd. Again, Carl, who are you working for? His performance has been, I think, irreprehensible. That he was also had to be removed for possible bad conduct as the liaison between Boyd and the court. He overstepped his authority, and I think possibly the day that Mr. Dockery, Mr. Busselman, and Mr. Gower were there seemed to be possibly a bad day, I would assume, Bob. That's really all I had. Mr. Yarder has had some cancer treatment and had a letter from Ms. Stimson. I'm just trying to see if he's still there to continue. Is Betty and them out there, you know? Or did they leave?
He's on his way.
Mr. Stimson would be here. Mr. Stimson has been going through extensive cancer treatment. Very fine gentleman. And again, that's all I have. I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Yarder and let him proceed as such. Thank you very much, and apologize for this doctor's appointment, but I've had it for 2 months.
I understand, we don't have them.
He's always here.
He's unavailable.
He's unavailable?
Hmm?
He's not here.
He should be here.
He was here just a second. Did you say he's coming?
I said, I told him to tell you he was unavailable.
He was unavailable. Well, I guess that will conclude, and we'll have to get that administrator's comments some other time. We did have a letter from the Stimsons that I would like to read, but he has that.
I have a copy of it.
Oh, do you? Sure.
Mr. Busselman?
Yes.
Okay.
I'll give him my copy to, okay. Oh, I got this signed.
No.
It's very late, it's very short.
No, it's very short. Okay. From Beasley and Earl Stimson, Carl Hummel was our commissioner. Soon after being sworn in, Carl would answer his phone calls and answer questions. Early visited his office twice. The first time, question we were asked and answers were given. The next time a question was asked, Carl would not stop talking. He would not let Earl talk. So after a while, he got up and left Carl's office and has not been back. Beasley and Earl need a commissioner that can talk but also listen. Carl needs to learn how to listen because it can help in carrying out his duties as an elected official. Our group will be out there. We have quite a few. We will be looking at other alternatives for commissioner in our precinct. Again, Judge, thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Utley.
All right, guys, let's go ahead and move on. Come back to
I
number
just saw Mr. Yarder walk out.
He just said he was unavailable, and I gotta move on with this agenda. We're gonna be here for days.
Okay.
Number 5 is citizens to be heard. Carol, I'm sorry. Everybody had places to go. I had to get one to ACOG, doctors, and everything else. So can you go back and help me and get citizens to be heard?
We have 5.
You got 5? Wow, that grew since I saw you.
Mr. Deskin?
I'll defer until the entire court is here.
You wanna wait? I'm sorry, Mr. Duskin. We were trying to get Pete to ACOG and everything else. I apologize.